whenever you want to pull a trailer, you want to make sure of a few things. You want to make sure that you have the proper electrical, okay? You want to make sure that you have the flip-up bumper, okay? Along with that, you want to make sure that you have the proper chains, okay? And proper hinge, okay? Not only that, but you also want to make sure that you want to have the proper the camera that is visible to the bumper, okay? And then we have a few more things that we gotta check inside the cab. Alright, so the next step that you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that the camera, turn the camera on. Have a completely a good view of the hitch ball, okay, and the bumper. Not only that, but you also want to make sure that you have the electrical brake unit. So this is your electrical brake unit. You want to make sure that it's working properly by just tapping on the brake, and then make sure that the red light goes on. Okay, and then the next step will be actually backing into the trailer unit. Alright, so this is your trailer unit, okay? We're going to have to check a few things before we actually go to the front. We're going to make sure that the tire pressures are good. Okay? Alright, this seems to be pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the front of the trailer. Alright, now that we're here in the front, we're going to check a few things. First of all, we got to make sure that the brake is on. Then we're going to make sure that the trailer itself is high enough where you're going to be backing up into the package. The jaws are open, okay? And then you got to make sure that the chains are out of the way, like so. Alright, this one here seems to be pretty good. So now that we're pretty much back into the trailer, we gotta do a few steps before we start doing this. We gotta make sure that we are aligned with the hitch and the hitch ball. Okay, make sure that this is still open. Okay. So you're not perfectly aligned with the hitch and the trailer itself. Once you start lowering it, it'll perfectly come down to the ball itself, and it'll lock into it. You also want to make sure that you have this lever secured with its proper place. The next step is that you want to make sure that the foot of the trailer is off the ground, so that means that the trailer itself is actually hinged into the truck. See how it is? Alright, so now that you are aligned with the trailer and the package car, you want to make sure that you want to squeeze the trailer ball, the hinge, okay? Just to make sure that you're still aligned with it. Now, if there's a problem with it, that means that either one, you're not aligned properly, or you can just wiggle the trailer back and forth, and it'll fall into its place. Next, what you want to do, you want to make sure that the jaws are closed, okay? Like so. Release it. And the first thing that you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that you have the safety pin on it. You wiggle it. Alright. Alright, so if by any chance you cannot, the trailer itself is not falling into place, what you want to make sure is that you want to, wiggle a little bit, lower it down a little bit. Like so. You wiggle it, and then you pull it up, and it falls into place. And then what you want to do is want to that you keep going down. Okay. All right. So once you have the safety pin on it, you want to make sure that you pick up the foot of the trailer. Okay. See how it's wiggle? Pull the safety pin. Pull it up, and make sure that it's locked and secured. So that way we do this just in case that for it not to drag on the freeway. Next step is you want to make sure that the chains. One of the things that you want to make sure is that the chains are long enough, okay, and not short enough. So saying that you want to make sure that the right side, okay. You don't want it to be dragging on the freeway, okay, or you don't want it to be too short because once you start making those turns, okay. So if they are too long enough, you can actually push bottom, okay, and then that'll make them the perfect size for it. Okay. Next, you want to have the safety chains on that are already on the package car, and you can just latch like this. If you notice, this is actually touching the ground. So one of the things that we can do is cruise crossing, okay, like so. And it's not touching the ground. Or you can actually hinge it on the next handlebar. You have two brake systems here. You have the manual, okay, which is hooked into this chain, and you have the electronic brake system, okay. What you want to do is that you want to make sure that these chains, they're not too loose, so that way if in case the trailer becomes loose, they're able to pull the manual brake. And and this one right here is the like I said, it's the automatic brake system. Okay, you want to make sure that you hook them where they're not too loose or too tight. Okay. You want to make sure that this is enough slantwise, so when you're making your turns, they're not on the way. And you want to make sure that you kind of pretty much align them with the bumper. Okay, not too, like I said, not too tight. Okay, or not too loose. This one here might be a little bit loose. So there. The main purpose of the chains it's for one purpose only, is that if your trailer becomes unhinged from the package car, this will actually hold the trailer to the package car, and that way you avoid any further serious incidents or accidents that you can have by that. And your last step is that you want to make sure that this goes in here. Okay? There's a little tip that goes upward, aligns with it. Okay, you want to let go. You want to tighten a little bit so that way it doesn't become loose on the freeway, and then you don't have no lights or brake lights. Okay. All right. The last thing that you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that the lights are on. Okay. You want to make sure that the lights are properly working. You have the lights on, and then you want to make sure that the lights on the trailers are pretty much on. One of the things that you can do is use the body system or individual. Okay? All right, buddy. You want to make sure that the signal lights are on. Excellent. Okay, and give me a tap on the brake. We're good. Yeah, and that's how you actually put things in here. Right. The last thing that you want to do is that I'm going to perform a test on it. manual brake on it. I want to make sure that I'm going to try to lock the wheels on it so that way it's not a fault test. So I'm going to apply the manual brake for the trailer so that way I can see if I can get the brakes, the tires to lock into it. Okay. I'll make sure that I tap this one here all the way to the left. And they're already locked. That means that there's no default connection to them. As you can see, you want to make sure that you seal the trailer in the back. Okay.
If we have to, we could always disconnect the trailer and.
This is the